today's video I'm back in my local woodland just down the road from me. I love to visit this woodland 3 or 4 times a year, and it's really good at this time of year because we're drifting between autumn and into winter, and all the leaves are turning golden, that golden yellow. Um, the leaves are starting to drop off the trees, and you can get some really good compositions. And I really love to revisit this place because it's a place that I know well. I know all the trees, I know all the places. So it's a place that I come back to constantly over and over and over again, so that I can essentially improve my woodland photography, but also rediscover old compositions, because I think there is a there is a case for actually revisiting compositions that you've done before and see if you can improve them, see if you can actually better. And I think what that will do is that will improve your photography no end as well. I think that the urge to practice and practice and practice and reshoot is a fundamental thing for a photographer. It's basically like driving a car. If you don't drive a car for 6 months and then you get back in that car, you're going to be quite rusty into changing the gears and just how the car works. So revisiting compositions and places that you shoot regular can be fundamentally good for your photographer. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to have a quick wander around my local woods, see if I can rediscover some compositions, find some new ones, and I'll see you in a moment. So for this composition here, I've got this tree in front of me, and it's you're getting some really nice side lights coming from over here, coming from behind me here, and it's casting through the trees, and you get some dappled light onto the trees behind it, and it's picking out particular parts of the tree, and it's creating a really nice composition. So what I've done for this shot is obviously I've stopped the exposure down about 2 stops because the camera was being fueled by, I think it's by the bright light on the tree, so it was actually overexposing it, so it was making it a little bit blown out. And also I'm getting bits of the sky as well, and I don't really want them to be too blown out. I've composed it in such a way that I don't want to get too much of the sky in, because obviously when you're casting the sky through the trees, it does tend to overexpose and it gets blown out, and I think it's a bit distracting. So I've took this composition, I'll show you the image on the screen, and hopefully welcome back. And what I've done for this this part of the video is that I've walked further down the canal down here, and I've just been walking past the fields here, just wandering and exploring, and I've come across this little bit of woodland, and there's some it's a little gem. I think it's a place that I'm going to come and explore quite often, because there's a good mixture of new and old growth. You probably find that some of these trees were planted 300-400 years ago, when the canal was built around about the 1700s. If you don't know, there's an actual canal that runs round further down the woods here, and there's some really fantastic really gnarly old trees, and then which provides a bit of a juxtaposition to the newer growth. So you're finding that the older growth is tending to lose the leaves and the colour a lot quicker than the newer growth. So you're finding that some of the older trees are going that lovely, brown and orange colour, and you're finding it in between, dotted in between the trees is these small saplings that are quite green. So it's providing a great balance and a great difference between the two trees, and providing a bit of depth and a bit of texture. So when I was setting up about 20 minutes ago now, I was a little bit worried because it went really grey and it went really flat. The light, there was no light at all. But I think at the moment we've had quite a break in the sun, in the clouds. So the sun is streaming through the trees and creating these rays of light. So on this composition that I've got here, there's a sapling that's framed by these 3 or 4 trees, these older trees, and obviously because the trees are older now and they've grown into the various positions, they've created this nice frame into that older sapling. And also I'm getting streams of light coming from over past the sapling up over to where I am here, so it's creating some nice side light on the tree. I am getting a little bit of the sky in, which is a bit which I'm a bit unsure of whether to go, because it is blowing it out, and that's obviously one of the things that you try to avoid in woodland, because you find that the forest floor or the wood floor is generally very dark, and then the sky is very bright, so you find that 9 times out of 10 you're blowing out the highlights on the sky, which can obviously become distracting, and it can draw your eye away from the subject or the place that you want to photograph. So what I've actually done is I've framed the images. I've framed the tree in between the 2 trees, and what I've done is I'm going to see if I can dip the camera down to get a bit more foregrounding. There's a lot of dead leaves on the floor and some really crazy branches here, so that might provide a bit of foreground interest. I don't know really, but I'm gonna obviously attempt to image and see what I get. So.